Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Whoop, whoop. Let me take a sip of water before I start. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is Listiner Inspires coming at you live with your morning espresso shot of inspiration. Woo! So happy Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Whether you catch it in live action or replay, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time out to listen. Make sure you share, because sharing is caring. So let me introduce myself for those who may not know me. My name is the Listiner Inspires. I am an award-winning author. I am a healing and recovery accountability expert as well as coach. I am also an international speaker, and I am your founder and creator of Healing is a Journey, which is a quarterly series of conferences that are designed to help those who've gone through trauma and abuse start to learn how to live their best healed life by providing tools, support, solutions, and resources. So thank you all for tuning in. Today's message, today's Espresso shot of inspiration title is, Are You Living a Dynamic Life? And so I wanted to just hop on here. Every Monday, I try to make sure I'm consistent with bringing the morning espresso shot of inspiration. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background of how the morning espresso shot inspiration came about, so you can understand the whole meaning behind the title and the purpose of it. But before I do, let me grab something right quick. Okay. So the whole purpose, the whole meaning behind the morning espresso shot inspirations is I back in the day I used to send out morning inspirational text messages. It was either things that I had just came to mind or scriptures, but every morning to my friends and family I would send out morning text messages of inspiration and encouragement. And I did this consistently for a span of like several years. And when I decided to launch my business in 2016, one of the main things that I wanted to do was be consistent in inspiring people. Because I love doing that. That is the basis of who I am. I am inspirational, and I want to make sure that all the content and the things that I do are inspiring. And so once I launched my business, I started doing like affirmation and inspirational placards and bookmarks and such as that. And I was working with one of my mentors who had encouraged me to start going live. Now, that was something I was really fearful of. I was like, live? How about I start doing recorded videos? So every Monday I will record an inspirational video and I will post it to my page, to my YouTube channel every Monday. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to change the trajectory and the mindset of how I viewed Mondays and how others view Mondays. So when working a 9 to 5, we live for the weekend. Sometimes we be like, man, it's Friday. Yes, I get to relax. I get to chill. And then Sunday night comes, you're like, oh man, I gotta work on tomorrow. It's Monday. You wake up dreading Mondays. And I'm like, you know what? Monday is like any other day. It's a great day, but it's all about your perspective and your mindset. I'm like, how can I bring a new positive mindset to how I view Mondays? So ultimately, I was trying to shift my mindset and my trajectory of how I saw a particular day, which I felt like I should not view it as any less joyful or any less important than any other day. So therefore, I created the Monday Espresso side of inspirations, and that every Monday I will bring 60 seconds, literally, because Instagram at the time didn't have like where you can change it to IGTV. 60 seconds of a lot of a recorded message that I would send out across all my platforms on Monday. But eventually I started going live, and sometimes I will be in my time with God and I would get an inspirational message throughout the rest of the week. And so I wanted to shift that. I'm like, let me change it from Monday Espresso Shot of Inspirations to Morning Espresso Shot of Inspiration. And so the concept is you get inspired in a short period of time. I am not a long talker. I believe in giving you compact, impactful, inspiring knowledge and information in a time frame where you can capture it without being long and drawn out. And so that is the mission, the purpose, and the story behind Morning Espresso Shots of Inspirations. So to go even further into today's message, are you living a dynamic life? So as I was spending time with God, thank you for all who are tuning in. Thank you so much. Make sure you share. As I was spending time with God this morning, I said, God, what is today's message? Sometimes I'll know. Good morning, Mighty. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you. Can't wait till we go on our walk. As I was spending time with God today, I said, okay, God, what is today's message? I try to make sure that whatever I deliver to you guys is something that's going to resonate with God's people, that He wants you to hear. Oftentimes it's how I feel about something, like my experience, how God maybe inspires me. And sometimes it's just maybe just looking out the window, but I try to make sure it's relevant and it's inspiring. You can use this in your own personal life. So I was sitting down with God, writing in my journal, just talking to God. And I was happened to look over at my coffee mug. So one of my friends gave it to me for my birthday a few years ago. And this word, can you see it? Dynamic, just popped out. Now, mind you, there are other words that are colored on here, if you can see. But this particular word, dynamic, just popped out at me. And I'm like, So I like to look up definition of words. For me, if I'm going to deliver a message, I need to understand the words that are in there, how it connects to the word of God or to the inspiration I'm bringing you. So dynamic popped out at me out of all the things. And I said, let me look up the definition of dynamic and how it pertains to whatever the message is that I will bring forth to the people. And so dynamic, 2 definitions that came up, which I thought was very profound. The first one is of a process or system characterized by constant change, activity, or progress. The second definition is of a person, positive in attitude and full of energy and new ideas. So I started to think, that sounds like how we should be living on a daily basis. Constant change, constant progress, with a positive attitude, full of energy, and always generating, creating new ideas. But I realized that oftentimes we're not, right? And I wanted to really just dive deeper into why is it we're not living the life that we desire and deserve, because it's here for us, right? And so one of the things I thought about is the fear, our mindset that limits us from taking a step out of faith, leaping out there, doing those things that we want to do because we're afraid of what others might think. We're actually, we doubt our own selves, and sometimes we're afraid of what if it's not successful, right? And so I'm like, I can relate to that, because even though I launched my business in 2016, I had so many doubts. Even though you see me as an international speaker, I've published 5 books. I've done workshops. I have a conference that's year 2 in the making. I go out and just speak, and I empower and inspire. I still have my doubts. I still have my reservations and my fears. And I think about how I push through and persevere. And so one of the things I thought about is the positive attitude that we need to have. And sometimes people will say, oh, it's hard to have a positive attitude when you're going through so much. Trust me, I get it. I understand completely. But I feel like if we can shift how we think about things, if we can shift how we say things, it will shift how we view it. So for instance, perfect example, I could be like, okay, if you guys tuned into my live Saturday, I shaved my hair off. I went live and I shaved my hair off. And the reason I did this is because chemotherapy was taking my hair out anyway. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what my scalp looks like underneath here, but I'm going to take a chance and just shave it off. And I have a cute face. We're going to see what happens. If it's ugly scalp, I'll just rock a scarf. But my mindset was, I wanted to do it for new beginnings. I did not want to be like, oh my God, I'm losing my hair. Like, what am I going to do? And so I shifted what could have made me feel bad about myself and thought about, like, I'm going to rock this no matter what comes my way, because I have my health. In spite of going through chemo for cancer, I could have had a stage 4 diagnosis. It could have metastasized. There's so many ways it could have went differently. And so that mindset has helped me to not look at the situation I'm in as completely negative, but look at it as a way to inspire others and inspire myself, and to be able to really live a dynamic life. And so let's go back to the definition again of dynamic, right? When I think of a dynamic life, I think of having a positive mindset and attitude, constantly progressing, and also understanding that change is inevitable, but not resisting the changes that might happen. Going with the flow and adjusting accordingly because of what's happening and the changes that they're out of your control sometimes, right? And then having this energy, this full of life energy, and thinking of new ideas. So right now we're in quarantine, we're social distancing. This is a perfect example of learning how to shift your mindset, learning how to be full of energy and coming up with new ideas and being progressively moving forward in spite of being in a situation that we cannot change, but we can change our mindset. So the question I asked in the beginning are you living a dynamic life? And if you're not, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from living the life you want to live? Because at the end of the day, no matter what life brings at us, we have the control to shift how we see it. We can either live in fear or we can live in faith. Now, faith is not just you're praying and you keep it moving. Faith is an actual mindset as well. Believe it or not, because in order to hope and believe in something greater and better, in spite of where you're at, your current situation, it starts in your mind. You have to believe it. And once you believe it, your attitude, your mind, your attitude will change and shifts, because you're like, okay, for instance, if you have gotten laid off during this time and you don't know if you're going to be able to work when you come out of this, you can shift your mindset and say, okay, I don't know what my job situation might look like when this is done, but let me look at some of the skill sets or even some of the dreams and goals that I had put on the back burner because I was working long hours. That's shifting your mindset. That's shifting from fear of the unknown to, like, let me have faith. Not only there is something greater and better out there, but faith in the fact that God has given me the gifts and the tools within me to be able to do something greater. And so a positive mindset usually means that you have faith and hope in something greater. And so fear and faith really start in the mind. The mind is a place where a lot of things grow. The mind is a place where a lot of things can be stopped. You can stop the fear before it becomes anxiety and before it causes panic and before it handicaps you. But you have to learn how to shift it and recognize it. You have to learn how to recognize when you are limiting yourself because of the fears that you have. I can speak earnestly and honestly that every time I create something new, every time I put something out there, there's this fear that creeps up, like, oh, what if it's not successful? What if it's not this? What if it's not that? And I've learned to trust God in spite of my own sometimes limited mindset and just do it because I know that He's given me these gifts. Just last week, I talked about when I launched Listiner's immune booster, I had a lot of reservations. I was like, what if, people don't like how it tastes? What if? I had a lot of what ifs. Yet I had my family and my business partner was like, this is good. I've used it. I can vouch for you. You need to make this known. You need to start selling it. I had my brother like, man, this is a business you need to be rocking with. And I decided to not just listen to my supporters, but shift my mindset. I'm like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I don't get the sales that I expect, right? But that does not mean that I'm a failure if I don't get the high sales or I don't get the acceptance of others, because if God gave me this gift, then he's going to make sure that the right people are aligned with what I need to do. And so changing my perspective and changing my trajectory of how I see it allowed me to push past those fears, because fears exist. I'm not telling you that you're not going to have fears, but I'm letting you know that you can push past them by changing how you see it. And so I pushed past it, took a chance, put myself out there, posted about the immune boosters, and within a few days I had about 4 or 5 sales. Had I not been obedient, then, hey, Karen, thank you for tuning in. And had I not been obedient, I would have not known how that would have felt. And so that pushed me to start researching, okay, I'm going to need this, I'm going to need that. And every time I take an order and I make it, I'm super excited, because I know that my obedience is not only boosting up my confidence in myself and who God created me but it's also helping others to heal from the inside out. Good morning, Karen. And so I wanted to just encourage you this morning to start evaluating what are some things that are causing you to not live a dynamic life. We all should be living a dynamic life. What does that look like? It's going to be different for everyone. Being dynamic does not equate to how much money you have in your bank account. Being dynamic equates to, are you in constant change and progress daily? Are you exuding a positive attitude? Yes, it's a ministry. Thank you. Yes. Karen Holmes said it's a ministry. Indeed. Are you full of energy and new ideas? We all should be trying to daily live a dynamic life. I can truly say that if you ask me this question today, am I living a dynamic life? I can say yes. Had you maybe asked me that last year, I would have had my doubts. But this past year and these last few months alone have really taught me how to be obedient to God, how to trust him, and how to shift my mindset and increase my faith to believe something beyond what my eyes see. And so I am happy to share this message with you. I hope that it has blessed you. Karen Holmes says living out your purpose. Yes, living a dynamic life is basically living out your purpose, but you won't know that if you don't step out past that fear, push past that fear, because fear will always try to stop you. Every time you go a level and level up, fear will try to stop you. Push past it, kick the door down, and feel like I got this because God told me to do this. Allow your positive mindset, your positive attitude that starts in your mind to increase your faith so you can overcome that fear. And shameless plug, if you need some help with that, I have tools and resources. So I have this book, my second book in my Healing is a Journey book series called Kick Fear Out. This book walks you through the process of how to really acknowledge the fear that you're going through, you may be experiencing, giving you actual tools, resources that you can use. And this book is a part of the Healing is a Journey journal series and conference series. So upcoming in June 20th, I have my second installment for this year of my Healing is a Journey conference series. And it's a live webinar, so you don't have to worry about actually being in any building. You can watch it from the comfort of your home. The live webinar will include speakers. I have vendors, online vendors. You will get the replay link of the webinar, so you can go back and rewatch it if you need to catch some nuggets that you might have missed. You get a downloadable Overcoming Fear with Faith worksheet, and you get this book. Guess how much? $25, period, and amen. So if you want to really start living a dynamic life and you need some help, and it's okay to say you need help. That's why God created those individuals who can help you. You know, there's always people out there to help you. You just have to be willing to acknowledge you need the help and get it. I hope this message has blessed you. Remember, you are worthy of living a dynamic life, and you can start doing that today. Remember to be bold, be unashamed, and be you. Period and amen. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.